Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. Today I'm going to present to you a free hit team for the upcoming Game Week 34. I know that Game Week 33 is still ongoing, but I wanted to get ahead and showcase to you a proper Game Week 34 free hit team, as this is going to be one of the most popular free hit weeks in this year. Of course, Game Week 36 is another option for a free hit if there are doubles confirmed, but for now I would say that 34 is the prime way to go, especially if you have bench boost in 33. You have a lot of players that are just not there for the upcoming double, so I would say 34 is very good. We're going to discuss the fixtures and then we're going to go and take a look at the free hit team and decide if it's good enough or not, and is it worth it or not. Looking at the fixtures for Game Week 34, nothing excites me that much. To be completely fair, Chelsea versus Everton, Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle, Ipswich, Southampton, Fulham, Wolves, Leicester, Bournemouth United, Liverpool, Spurs and Forest, Brentford. Yeah, there are some fixtures that are looking okay-ish. For example, Fulham, Southampton. We can get some players from Fulham. Wolves, Leicester is an interesting fixture where we can get some players from the Wolves team and include them in our squads. And yeah, okay, Liverpool, Spurs, I see goals. Bournemouth United, I see goals. Newcastle, Ipswich, if you are taking out your players from the bench booster and you don't have Newcastle players anymore, you can get them back on a free hit. Chelsea, Everton, I see some goals for Chelsea. And West Ham, Brighton, probably West Ham. Hard-fought victory, something like that, but overall it's not something that exciting for me. I will target players from Wolves mostly, Newcastle for sure, as they have been playing amazingly well at home. Forest defense at home has been solid. Liverpool will be aiming to win the title, especially if Arsenal has won all of their 2 matches in the Game Week 33 fixture run. Chelsea will be aiming for a victory here. But overall, nothing that exciting. Fulham, we don't know which part of the squad is going to be present. We know a couple of players that are going to be nailed, but I don't think that is enough. And yeah, it's not that exciting of a bench of a free hit week, especially when you're going to get most of the players in. For example, you already have the Newcastle guys, you have some Liverpool, you may have some Forest. It all really depends how much you invested in bench boost 33, but if you have heavily invested, I think it's a no-brainer and you should be activating the free hit, because you have Aston Villa, Arsenal, Palace and City players that are just not going to play. And one, you either have 5 transfers and you can adjust the team, or B, you will need to sacrifice a lot, as I see a lot of bench boost teams with 11, 12 double week players, which you cannot replace in a single week. You have Areola probably, and you may have some Newcastle players, and Salah, let's say you have 5 players. If you have 5-3 transfers, you can get up to 5, but after that it gets tricky, as you want to keep the City players, you would probably want to keep the Villa players, so it basically gets extremely hard. If I forget to mention that if you enjoy the content and want to see more, don't hesitate and click the subscribe button. It will help me grow massively. I'm aiming for 5k. But by the looks of it, I'll be aiming for 3.5k until the end of the season. Let's see if that is possible. Let's see if not. But I'll be keeping my 5k goal, as, yeah, we are closer than ever, but still very far away. So here is the bench and the goalkeeper that I will be starting. The team value is pretty low, 99.6 million at the prices that they're bought. So for example, if I have Isaac and he's 9.5 and you brought him in like months ago, you would have him for the price that you get him. So yeah, this free hit is very affordable to everyone. That just showcases how strange that free hit is going to feel, but let's discuss it now. So I'll be starting with the goalkeeper. Sales, I want a Forest defender. Yes, I could have went with Milenkovic, I could have went with Williams, Aina. Everyone is an option from that Forest defense, but I feel like the best goalkeeper this season has been Sales for the fantasy. 4.5 starting price, now he is at 5.1, a very massive growth for that keeper that no one believed in at the start of the season. Here I have 2 more contenders, one of them being Jose Sa facing Leicester and the other one being Leno from Fulham, yes, facing Southampton. But I wanted to go for a defender from Fulham and a defender from Wolves and pick the goalkeeper from Forest. Of course, you can integrate the other changes any way you want, but I think that is the approach that I'll be taking. Jose Sa, because he's cheaper than Leno in Go, but yeah, you can literally go for any one of the goalkeepers if you have the budget, and most of you will have the budget. Now, the other defender that we are discussing here is Cucurella. He's facing Everton, and at 5.4 he has a lot of attacking threat. Of course, he can be changeable. You can go for Reece James if you believe that Reece James is playing. You can go for basically Cucurella or Reece James. I prefer Cucurella because he has been involved in a lot of goal scoring chances and a lot of goal scoring situations, so he makes the list here. And at 5.4, yes, it seems expensive, but as mentioned, you have the budget to fit everyone in. And as you can see, I'm going for Bowen, so that would mean that I'm going in a 3-4-3 formation. I don't think I'm surprising anyone here, but you can go for Bowen against Brighton. They are having a good team, West Ham, and now with the players back like Paqueta, Kudus, I think Bowen playing either right wing or central is going to be a very, very viable pick for the upcoming games against Brighton. So yeah, 7.5. I know it's expensive. You can save some money even here, but those are mentions here. Sessegnon now is a very, very interesting pick if he plays as at right wing against Southampton. This can be a very solid out of position player, and I think it's worth the risk on a free hit. If you ask me, I'm putting him on the bench because there is another defender that I'm mentioning from Fulham in the starting 11, but Sessegnon is a very, very special shout out here. I don't know if you're going to like him. I don't know if you're going to enjoy having him there, but yeah, Sessegnon at right wing, if he plays, it's going to be something very, very special, but I cannot guarantee his start. So yeah, those are the special mentions that I have here. Bowen or a West Ham midfielder, Cucurella or Reece James, and Sessegnon for a right wing position. Jose Sa or Leno or Sales, one of the three, but if you pick Leno in goal, then you have to pick a Forest defender. Yeah, that's why I went with Sales Sa, because Sessegnon can be a very cheeky shout out if you want to risk it. But yeah, now let's go and see how the defenders look, because I think it's not that special, but I wanted to cover them. Going into defense, I don't think I'm surprising anyone by going with defenders that play Leicester, Ipswich and Southampton. Yes, one of them is playing in the Wolves side, the other is playing in the Fulham side, but at the end of the day, I think they are far superior than the Southampton and Leicester. Leicester has been the worst team in the league by far in a while. Southampton, in my opinion, have played better at least. Yes, they've conceded some stupid goals and some stupid situations, but I believe Leicester have been playing way more terrible than what Southampton were presenting. And Aït-Nouri plays like a left wing back / left winger, so I think he is going to be one of the most popular broad-in players for the upcoming Gameweek 34. Even if you're on a free hit, even if you're not, I think that Aït-Nouri is going to be a very popular option. Maybe it's once again a trap, but you cannot just avoid the Leicester fixture. I think it's going to be getting completely out of hand for Leicester, and I think Wolves are going to score a lot of goals. The best defender from Fulham going from here is Robinson against Southampton. He's playing like a left back, he's nailed, and he gets a lot of attacking returns. Of course, on the right side, if you go for Castane, if Tete is not back into contention, is going to be interesting also, because they have been conceding a lot of situations from the right side. I'm speaking about Southampton, but at 4.9, if you're looking for someone to cover you in Gameweek 34 and Gameweek 36, if you're making a transfer or if you're activating the free hit, I think Robinson is your guy here. 4.9, I think it's an amazing price, and he's cheap, he's reliable, and you can go there. Last but not least is Livramento. Here you can just believe that is a Newcastle threshold. It's either Livramento, Schär, Burn, Trippier, all of them are amazing. I just went with Livramento because he's the most owned at the moment, but Trippier is a very good shout out because, hear me out, he gets subbed off early. So by him getting subbed off early, I think that you can bank a clean sheet before the game ends, which is good. Schär and Burn are very good attacking wise, while Livramento is bombarding up and down, up and down, up and down the field. Of course, when they play against a 5-back, it's a little bit different, like against United and against Crystal Palace. Livramento didn't attack as much, and Ipswich are playing 5 at the back, so I might go for Trippier or Schär here, because from set pieces, both of them have been playing amazingly well, but believe that is a threshold of the Newcastle defender. You can go in any direction that you want. I would recommend just anyone, honestly. Anyone works. There isn't a player that doesn't work here, at least in my opinion. 4 of them. If we can have more players from one team, it would have been from Newcastle for sure. Now, Liverpool defenders are missing here, but I don't know if Bradley or Trent will play. I prefer all those 3 defenders as they're attacking compared to Virgil. Virgil has been making some mistakes. The left back position, I cannot nail it down, so I'm going to be hesitant there. Of course, if you go for Leno, I would pick Milenkovic or Eina. If you go for Sales, I'll pick Robinson. I just feel like Sales plus Robinson is a better combo. Who else am I missing? West Ham defenders, no thank you. Brighton, no thank you. Chelsea, already spoken about them. United, Bournemouth, no thank you. Spurs defender, no thank you. Everton defender, probably not for me. So I think I covered most of the defensive sides. Of course, if you go and take a look at the fixtures, you can stack it up in for a team. For example, you can drop 8 Nuri and go massive with Sessegnon, but I think that you should be having at least one Wolves defender to cover you. So yeah, I really enjoyed that defense. It doesn't look that great, but it's 3 players facing the 3 relegated sides, so I think it's good enough for now. Going into midfield, honestly, most of it picked itself. Of course, we're starting with Mohamed Salah. He's a prime candidate for a captaincy pick this week. Yes, it's going to be tough for him against Spurs, but he enjoys playing against Spurs, and Spurs are leaving so many open spaces that I think Salah will feast in that game. He will once again be the most popular captain after the Gameweek 32 and 33 doublers have concluded, but for sure, Salah, whatever the price, I think he should be in your team. Sadly, he's the only player that I can nail down from the Liverpool side, and I think that it looks very sad that I can only nail one player, apart from VVG, by the way, who have signed a new contract and is going to be playing like a man reborn. But at the end of the day, I prefer to have attacking wingbacks against the promoted sides when I'm free hitting, and Salah at 13.8. Yes, he's expensive, but as you can see, the issue in that team is not money. It's that we cannot pick a lot of players because they are not that good and that amazing, but still at the end of the day, 13.8, good price that you're paying for your captain for that week. Palmer, I know that he has been disappointing throughout the second half of the season, but there isn't anyone that is worth spending the money on. Maybe you can go someone else and pick Bowen and just avoid the Chelsea asset, but I think being on penalties, it always helps Palmer appeal. Of course, everyone is going to say, but Palmer is not the same player. No, they're receiving less penalties this year. He is exactly the same player. He has scored similar numbers from open play, and the difference is that they don't have penalties, and that difference is hurting his appeal as an FPL prospect. Of course, penalties are a very vital part of the game, and having a penalty taker is a very important thing in that fixture. Then moving into Bruno against Bournemouth. Yes, everyone will look surprised, but I think Bournemouth have been conceding some out goal here and there. So I think that Bruno may capitalize on that. United, I don't know yet if they are through in Europe or not, because I'm recording way earlier this. But regardless of that, Bruno will play possibly every minute of every game, and I think that he can do pretty well for that United side. Being on penalties, being the only player that can do something in the offensive department, I think Bruno on a wild card is not a long stretch, and I quite enjoy it. And then we're reaching Murphy against Ipswich. Murphy has been in amazing form. Barnes is in an amazing form. Gordon is back. Tonali is in a good form. So this is once again a placeholder for a Newcastle player. You can go for anyone you believe it's going to play in that game. I think Murphy's position is pretty secure. He has been replaced pretty early in Gameweek 32 in both fixtures because he has to be saved for fitness reasons. But yeah, I think that he has been a very good part of that Newcastle rise, And yeah, he's playing a little bit like Almiron was playing several years ago. He's in a very amazing purple patch, and I quite enjoy having him. So if you believe that Gordon is not playing full 34 minutes, of course in 33 we're going to see where and how much Gordon plays, but I think Murphy is a pretty good placeholder to have at that moment. There is one player, no, several players that I omitted here. There is no Jacobo Minte from Brighton. I probably wanted to include him, but no place for him. There isn't space for Mbumu, sadly. Mbumu is a very good player, so yeah, it's quite sad that I don't have space for him, but he's facing Forest, and on a free hit, I don't think that is that optimal. There isn't a space for anyone from Forest, being Elanga or anyone else, but the game is the game. There isn't space for anyone from Bournemouth. In midfield, Kluivert, Semenyo, I don't know who is going to be fit when and where, so I'm not going to recommend it just yet. Of course, I'm going to do an updated free hit draft where I will see who is fit, who is playing, and where he will be playing, and I will be giving you the options when the time comes. But for now, as the initial free hit draft, I think that this suits me very, very well. Hopefully you agree with this, hopefully you enjoy it, and hopefully you will see a lot of appeal in the player that I brought in. 3 penalty takers, Jacob Murphy, who has the most amazing purple patch. I think it cannot get much better than that. Now let's go and wrap up the team with the forward line, because there it was pretty hard to nail down some players, but I think got it pretty okay. Last but not least is the forward line, and here I'm making some bold choices. Starting with Isaac, this is not a bold choice, this is the obvious choice. I think he is the best vice captaincy option. Many of you will say go with Isaac as captain, as last time around against Ipswich he did amazingly well, but I still believe Salah against Spurs at home is the better fixture. Nonetheless, Isaac is a must. This is not a placeholder. This is a player you need to pick. Isaac, go for it. Go from Newcastle. Next up, I'm going to discuss Evanilson. I mentioned that there isn't a space for a Bournemouth midfielder. That's a little bit of a lie. You can go with a 3-5-2 and pick Kluivert, for example, if he's fit instead of Bowen. But I prefer to have Evanilson. Evanilson has been in amazing form, scored 3 goals in the last 3 fixtures and hit the bar once in the last fixture against Fulham, where he blanked, and I think Evanilson plays a very, very vital role in that Bournemouth side. Of course, they've just won a game, and I think they will want to gain a bit more on that. Of course, against United, I think Bournemouth are very, very capable of winning that fixture, and their European contention run is going to continue. So I think Isaac and Evanilson on a free hit is a very solid combo to pick. Of course, if Kluivert is fit, you may want to go with Kluivert, but I prefer Evanilson in that sense. Strand Larsen is a placeholder now. If Cunha starts in Gameweek 33, as mentioned, I have not seen any of the fixtures in 33. I'm pre-recording this as I'm traveling, but for now, Larsen seems like the obvious choice. If Cunha is playing in 33 since the first minute, because last time around in 32, Cunha came on, scored a goal, and gained 2 bonus points, which was diabolical. But yeah, if Cunha is playing in 33, I'll be going with Cunha in 34. If he is not, I may risk it with Larsen. Of course, there is a lot of opportunities, a lot of possibilities that may arise during the week, and whatever happens, we are going to adapt accordingly. In the updated draft, I will remove the placeholders players. I will put the player that I really do believe it's going to be an option. But Leicester are suffering from the center forwards, and if Larsen is playing as a center forward, guess what? I'm picking him, of course. The only question mark here is Cunha. Yes, I'm missing some players from the teams, but Nico Jackson is a pick that I might consider. Raul Jimenez or Muniz, I don't know who starts, so I'm not risking it there. Chris Wood is a player that might get a lot of minutes and a lot of attention in that week, but he is not back up to his regular speed and regular form, so I'll be quite tempted to just avoid him for now. And if he banks in 33, yes, you will get Chris Wood, but for now, I think those are the best players to go for. Captaincy option, Salah, Isaac, or Wolves attacker. I think those are the players, and that is the order that I would be going for. Hopefully you enjoyed that lineup. If you have any questions or any other suggestions, please share them. Don't hesitate, because I want to have your feedback and I want to adjust accordingly for my updated free hit when the time comes. As per usual, a special shout out to the members of the channel, Seth, Florin, Oscar, Skauserhem, Dmitro. Thank you so much for being members of the channel. If you guys want to become members and support me financially, there is a quick link down in the description. Those are the prices that you're going to pay. With each level come different perks. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you cannot become a member or you don't want to spend money, just click that subscribe button and help me reach 3.5k until the end of the season. I think that target is reachable, and I think that together with you I'm going to smash it. So let's see when it will happen, or if it's going to happen. But as I know you guys, you will smash the target. Once again, thanks so much for watching, but for now I'll be heading out. Bye.